So after all of these years, I finally got to experience The Witcher 3 in the world that it offers. The game sets Geralt on a journey to find his adopted daughter Ciri, who's fleeing from the Wild Hunt. They're mysterious and carry a dark atmospheric vibe about them. Wherever they go, the environment around them turns dark, gritty, and cold, which is quite depressing to say the least, but that's what makes them very interesting. They made me nervous at first because at a glance, they look like this unstoppable force that will take what they want, when they want it. They carry a Star Wars dark side aura, and while this is occurring, the Third Northern War rages as Nilfgaard seeks to take full control of the continent. Since this was my first Witcher game, I wasn't sure what to expect of the world or Geralt, but as I continued playing, I started to get familiar with the mechanics, and I started to understand Geralt and his struggles and why he's hellbent on finding Ciri. I met many people on this journey who I think made the most impact on me during my playthrough. Learning about the different backgrounds and interacting with these folk made me truly care for some and dislike others.
Geralt!
The decisions that I made actually altered my playthrough. There were countless times where I decided on how I wanted things to go for a mission or decide someone's fate. This spices up The Witcher 3's story and world because I wasn't sure what my actions could lead to.
Go around the cavern. It's research.
Research?
Writing an adventure novel. Gathering material for it.
Mean to write up the coming of the White Fleet? Prime idea.
Dialogue plays a huge role in understanding the story and the events that occur in the game, so it's best to pay attention to them because they hold a lot of information that you might not get if you skip over dialogue. The world has a very medieval feel and look to it. The cities are full of people from the rich to the poor. Thieves will try to rob you during the nighttime. You'll see more drunk people walking around, a lot of guards, and a mix of people in the cities.
The ladies for me, Andy. What the hell?
The more rural parts of the map hold little villages and monsters who lurk around. Fast travel points are a necessity because of the sheer size of the map and are required when traveling to the different regions of the continent. Shout out to the SSDs in the next-gen consoles because I would have had to sit through a lot of loading screens. In the world, you'll find sword sharpeners and armor benches that enhance weapons and armor, merchants and craftsmen that you can sell and buy things from, and the map is marked with a ton of exploration points waiting to be discovered. The music is incredible. The Slavic tone adds to the immersion. It makes me feel emotion when I'm exploring the world of The Witcher 3. I remember when the Art of Skellige song played for the first time, I almost shed a tear as I was riding Roach through Skellige because of how beautiful the song was. It made me embrace the environment and the islands that surrounded me. With the next-gen upgrade, the graphics look lovely, the vegetation is nice and lush, the sun's light shining through the trees made me stop and take in the incredible view. It's hard to believe at times this game is 6 years old because the graphics hold up well today. Geralt is equipped with 5 Witcher abilities, each with their own unique quality. Use art to stagger enemies or open doorways with a blast of telekinetic energy. Turn your enemies into a burnt marshmallow with Igni. Or slow them down with Yrden.
You die in agony. One more.
Need a protective shield? Use Quen. And influence the mind of your foes with Axii. Of all the abilities, I found myself using Igni the most because it left enemies on fire while I slashed them with my sword. Combat feels good, you can parry attacks, roll over to dodge, and use your Witcher abilities to get the advantage on your enemy. Looting plays a huge part because you can find crafting materials, weapons, and armor. The Witcher senses helped me scope out rooms entirely as they had loot hidden in hard to see areas. There is a weight limit mechanic that prevents you from looting everything you see. If you do hit the limit, you lose the ability to run. However, adding saddlebags to Roach increases the weight limit. Crafting allows you to, craft. You can craft weapons and armor. Speaking of armor is divided into light, medium, and heavy categories. Light armor provides the least amount of protection, but it weighs the least so you can gobble up more loot on the ground. Heavy armor offers the most protection, but weighs the most, and medium is in between. and alchemy allows you to craft potions, oils, decoctions, and bombs. I wanted to touch on the menu. At first it did look intimidating to me. I just saw a bunch of stuff everywhere and I was like, where do I begin? It's like when you look at the setup manual for a new piece of furniture that you're trying to assemble for the first time, but as you put the pieces together little by little, it gets easier. The more familiar I became with the menu, the more I crafted and used my upgrade points. In the character section, you'll find the branches you can spec into. Use ability points to unlock or upgrade these abilities within the branch, and meditating at places of power earn you extra ability points to use. Side quests added more flavor to the game. They led me on to other adventures where I met characters I otherwise wouldn't have during the main quest, and I learned more about the world and its secrets. I actually enjoyed some of the side quests more than some of the main quests. Furthermore, treasure hunts set you off to find really good loot, and contracts can be found on notice boards. Completing them rewards you with, well, more loot. I will say the pacing felt good majority of the time, but there were moments where it did feel slow because of the long dialogue entries, and I found myself itching for some action during those occasions. I did have a few things that I think could have been implemented or done better. For instance, with the amount of armor in this game, it would have been cool to have a transmog system, because there were times where I didn't want to take off a chest piece or something because it looked better, but I had to because the new armor I found had better stats. Riding Roach feels clunky. I pretty much had to stick to the trails because if I didn't, I'd be stopping every second because of the limited terrain Roach can traverse, but I have to say it's much better in the next gen upgrade. Health regen is so slow when you're not in combat, which makes no sense. I spent a lot of time sitting and just waiting for my health to regen. I felt like they could have made it a little bit quicker. I know if they made it too fast, it would give you an advantage during combat, but when you're not in combat, it's like, who really cares? Just, let me regen my health at a reasonable rate. So yeah, I feel like that could have been implemented a little bit better. The next gen upgrade has made The Witcher 3 even better, but the optimization isn't quite there. I noticed when I would encounter large crowds, frames appear to drop, and little stutters happen sometimes, but the good thing is I didn't have any crashes during my entire playthrough, so that's definitely a positive. Overall, I really enjoyed my time with The Witcher 3. I'm glad to have finally experienced this world. It's a game that you hear good things about all the time, and now I know why. It's packed full of adventure and emotion. The amount of content the game has to offer is insane. I still have more content to play even after beating the main story, and I'll definitely be diving back into it. You can find it on sale for a really good price all the time, so I highly recommend picking this up. Thank you for tuning into this video. If you want more video content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. See you guys next time. Peace.